8:05 just in case we weren't ready right away at 8.
I got you.
But we can start early. We're allowed to do that. All right. We are live. All right. Welcome to another bonus episode of the Wisco Fanatics show. Jake and I are back, and we are going to be discussing rule changes. So we're going to go through Major League Baseball, National Football League, and the NBA, and we're going to discuss 3 rules we like, 3 rule changes we don't like, and then we're each going to give one crazy rule that would never happen, but we think would be fun to add anyways. And then we are going to talk about some unwritten rules in professional sports. So we are going to start with baseball. So, Jake, give me your first Major League Baseball rule change that you like.
Okay, so my first one, this one happened back in 1973. It was adopting the DH, the designated hitter. The AL started it back in 1973. Obviously, the NL is just taking that in this year. And baseball has always been, baseball purists are people that, they enjoy a pitcher's battle. They enjoy good defense. They enjoy, bunting the runner over and, all that kind of stuff. But in today's world, we like offense. So the DH for me is something that I love.
All right, my first one is a little more recent. I like that they eliminated needing to throw 4 pitches for the intentional walk.
Yeah.
It's like in a game like baseball where they're constantly trying to speed the game up and make the game more exciting and more interesting. Eliminating the catcher holding his hand out and then throwing the 4 straight balls. Like, it was so rare that something other than the 4 perfectly caught intentional balls were caught, and then he got his base when you can just say point and put the guy on. It's such a time-saving thing and an unnecessary thing that didn't need to be in there.
Saves the pitcher's arm and everything too, right?
Right.
So my next one isn't really a rule, but it's something that I really appreciate about baseball. I appreciate that they celebrate Mother's Day with the special bats, Father's Day. I love that they really make it a point of emphasis to celebrate 4th of July. And I wanted to do this one because today is Jackie Robinson Day, and it's such a big. It's not just a baseball thing, though. It's all sports, and it's all over the world. The impact that, and I didn't even know his wife was still alive. By the way, I was watching ESPN, and they said that his wife was planning on going. I don't remember what game she was going to, but she was playing. She's 99 years old. That's crazy.
Wow.
So I wanted to throw out Jackie Robinson Day, that we celebrate that day, and his memory is something
cool
that I really appreciate that MLB does. That is a good look for them, and brings awareness to a lot of other social justice things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's always a baseball holiday is Jackie Robinson Day. So my second one, this is a proposed rule that they are testing out in the minors. So this one's kind of a rumored rule change, and it is moving second base. So right now they're testing this out in the minors. Scott, we hate the Cardinals too. Just gonna crumple this one up and throw it away. But I like that they're considering moving second base. So what they want to do is move the base 13.5 inches closer. So it would be coming basically closer to the pitcher's mound and would shorten the distance between first and second and third, which would increase increase the ability to steal. It would make it easier to steal bases. So I like that. I think it's an interesting idea, and I think that would be a potentially good rule change.
Push. Well, if you watch the first inning, the Cardinals don't need the bases closer. They were going crazy on Freddie in the first inning. But my last one here is I like that MLB adopted the instant replay. And I'm one person that I think that I might be in the minority on this, but I think that baseball umps are the best referees in sports. I think they get it right most of the time. Calling balls and strikes is hard. Okay, that's tough. It's tough for a regular human being to stand there and be like 90 miles an hour, right? But now most of these guys are pumping up 95 to 100 most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to see that, and then the break. And so outside of home base, I feel like they get it right a lot on first base, second base, third base. I feel like they get the foul balls correctly. So I like that they implemented the instant replay just for the chance that they got it wrong. I think if you have the technology, why not use it, right?
Right.
I like that.
And I think for the people that want to throw out that the game needs human error aspect of it, I disagree with that. Like, I really do. Like, if say an umpire called a guy out on a tag, but he didn't actually get tagged. Like, I don't see how you can understand, or like, I don't understand how you would think that the game is better off by leaving in the human error of umpires. Like, I know Armando Galarraga, the pitcher for the Detroit Tigers that lost a perfect game when a guy was out by a full step and the umpire called him safe, and there's no instant replay to go and review it. You have instant replay, he gets a perfect game.
Yeah, that's
like he should
for
have.
him, man. That's life-changing for him.
That's that's he threw a perfect game. Everybody knows it, but the umpire took that away from him. If you have instant replay, he gets the perfect game that he pitched, and you get that call right.
Agreed.
All right. My last rule change for MLB that I like. This is something that I would like to see changed, especially when we're talking about potentially shortening the game. They're already working on a pitch clock. They have the 30-second pitch clock. They just don't really have a penalty implemented for it if you go over the 30-second pitch clock. But what I would like to see to speed up the game and to speed up at bats is limiting batters getting out of the batter's box.
Okay.
So
Ryan Braun would have been in trouble.
Ryan Braun is the most guilty of this, but after every single pitch, he gets out of the batter's box, he sets the bat on his groin, he redoes each batting glove like 4 times. Then he picks up some dirt and rubs his hands together. And then he does his batting gloves again. And then he looks at his first base coach. Then he looks at his third base coach to get, his signal, whether he's going to swing 3-0 or whatever. And then he steps back in the batter's box. And 48 seconds later, we've seen 1 pitch.
Yeah. Ryan Braun at bats used to take a long time, man. I had 3 birthdays in one season 1 year. Just with Ryan Braun at bats.
I thought you were going to say in 1 at bat.
No, I should have.
All right. Well, that was my last rule change I would like to see implemented. If they're going to put a pitch clock on, put a
batting clock on.
Yeah, put a batting clock on. Put something on to keep the batters in the batter's box.
To be fair, why don't you allow them one time to step out, say they got something in their eye, right? Or their glove feels weird. Let them have 1 per at bat, not every pitch.
Yeah, you get ridiculous. You get 1 timeout per at bat.
Yeah, where you can just be like, all right, hang on, let me change up real quick. Okay, let me get comfortable. Boom, you're good to go.
Yeah, I like that. Or you call time to get a call from your coach. I like that. That's a good one. I like that. That's good.
Yes, sir. All right, what's next? Here we go.
Let's go to rule changes we dislike. You want to go first on this one too, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, my first one that I dislike, this is a pretty popular one, and I actually saw some comments on this, was the runner on second base in extra innings.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I get that you're trying to eliminate 18-inning games from happening, but I kind of like that when you get the marathon game, especially if it happens on a Friday night and you don't have anything to do on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that. Putting the runner on second base where it happened to, I think it happened to either Devin Williams or Brad Boxberger last year, where you put the guy on second. If you give up a leadoff single and the guy scores, you don't get a loss, but you get an unearned run and the team loses. It's just such a weird thing. I understand why they did it to try to shorten the length of extra inning games, but start that at the 18th inning or something like that.
Yeah,
don't start it in the 10th.
Yeah, make it something where the game's being oh, okay, you guys both kind of suck right now.
We're about to start inning number 22. We're going to start with the bases loaded this inning.
Yeah, something. All right, so when I was doing this and I was reading all these rules for all these sports, and I was just bro, baseball players are some giant-ass babies. What's up, Isaac? So my first one that I had is don't run up the score. So basically when you have a comfortable lead, you're just supposed to coast. And I'm just why? Nope. We get paid professional money to play baseball, right?
Yep.
If you throw a freaking meatball down the middle, bet your ass I'm swinging away and I'm going to fucking knock that bitch out of the park, dude. Dead ass, dude. Yeah, you're not going to tell me not to swing and score and hit a home run. I could get a bonus. Who knows if I'm going to get to my 40 home runs? You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about me.
Yep. Yeah, and we're going to talk about the unwritten rules, so we're going to get into that. It's fair since both teams do it. I mean,
you got a point, but I don't know. You made him earn it for 9 innings, so then you get to 10th inning. Now you just get an automatic guy on base. Nah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
like I said, if you start it in a later inning, like then I could see that. I could see it that way. Um, the second one that I have for disliking is 7 inning doubleheaders.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of rare that doubleheaders happen to begin with, but it cheapens it, I think. Like why play not a full game? Like I just didn't like it.
I didn't like
That rule is gone now, and I'm glad it is. But I never liked the eliminating the 7 inning doubleheader.
All right, here's my next one. This one's an unwritten rule too. Is to don't swing on a 3-0 count when you're winning late in a game. Again, I know you're throwing a meatball now. Okay, you're struggling. We're already beating you. You gotta throw one over the plate. Okay, I know where it's coming. I'm hitting that baby. I do not care. Like you are taught. Like my stepson. This is a little story time. We're about to start football tomorrow. It'll be my first year coaching. I'm really really excited.
Oh, look at this guy.
He scored a lot of touchdowns last year, and a lot of parents came up to me because they see me and my girlfriend celebrating when Aiden scores, and he started scoring like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. I'm not even kidding you. Like this kid is getting pick sixes. I'm like, Aiden, this guy's running an inside route. He did it every time. And my stepson's just like, yeah, I got you. Okay, I'm gonna jump this route. I'm gonna take this bitch to the house. Okay, cool. And he started doing like Tyreek Hill, like peace sign and stuff like that. And parents are complaining.
Yeah.
And all I tell him is, I'm like, Aiden, if they don't want you to score, they should probably run as fast as you and stop you. Sorry, it is what it is. I'm not raising a baby. And I tell him the same thing. If you're losing, you take it on the chin, you get better. That's how it goes. Agree with that. Doubleheaders happen.
Hit a batter with a pitch, hit the pitcher with the bat. All right.
Only Isaac.
Your eye for an eye. Yeah. The unwritten rule thing. We'll save that because we're gonna get deeper into that. Because there's definitely a lot to unpack there. My last rule that I dislike about Major League Baseball is sticky stuff. So I don't like that you can use a rosin bag but nothing else.
Yeah.
They don't even let you wear sunscreen for night games. Obviously, I understand that when it's a night game that the sun's not out. But if you're gonna let a guy use a rosin bag and you're gonna let guys use pine tar on their bats, as long as there's not a freaking gob of chewing tobacco like on the baseball, like who cares? Like I really don't understand why that's like such a not allowed thing. Like why it shouldn't be allowed. Only if it's to cover a Cardinal. Yeah, everybody else can use sticky stuff except for Cubs and Cardinals.
Who's the guy that like basically took off all his clothes last year? The pitcher.
Was it
when they were checking him
from the White Sox?
I don't remember, but like he took off his hat, he like took off his pants
and
dropped his
belt
pants
and dropped his yeah.
I was like, whoa, he's pissed.
like give him like a barbecue sauce tray from McDonald's sized amount of sticky stuff. Like that's how much you get. Like
I'm cool with that.
As long as it's not affecting the baseball, like if it's just a little bit on your fingers, like I said, as long as there's not like a freaking gob of Vaseline on there or something like that, like that's they would have to test that beforehand, obviously, but if it's like the mats that basketball players rub their shoes on before they go play, and you just like tap that in your glove and then it doesn't rub off on the ball at all, like I don't see why sticky stuff is such a taboo topic. Like I don't know.
Yeah. All right, my last one that I have. This one I kind of understand, but again, it's just like baseball players are just babies. This like seriously, when you hear my other dislikes for basketball and football, you're like, yeah, those are some men right there. Don't don't bunt to break up a no hitter. Like, yeah, I get it. I get it. No, I get it. You worked hard. There's no hitter going on, but you're still playing baseball, right? Bunting is part of baseball.
It counts.
That's part of baseball.
It's a hit. Yeah.
Like it just happened a couple days ago, actually.
No, that wasn't a bunt to break up a no hitter. That was a bunt
I know.
9-run lead.
Yeah, they were kicking their ass. It was the Giants versus the Padres.
Yeah, that was Mauricio Dubon. It was actually a former Brewer. We're going to talk about that when we get to Unwritten Rules.
Okay.
Well, let's keep that one in the back pocket.
Baseball is like the king of unwritten rules, man. Like
yes,
the pitcher's mound, like the pitchers when they're throwing no hitter, they jump over the line. Like there's a million of them, man.
Yeah. All right, hit me with your ridiculous baseball rule.
Okay. I want the MLB to allow steroids. Dude, I'm an offense guy when it comes to baseball and basketball. Like football, I love defense, but baseball, basketball, I am not a purist with baseball, so I don't enjoy a good pitcher's duel. I'm gonna be completely honest. I do appreciate when they throw nasty pitches, curveballs, and stuff like that.
That's what I like.
I understand that. Like I appreciate that, but I like long ball, baby, and I want everybody to just be jacking them. I even thought of this. What if they allowed one person per team to take roids? Just one person per team. Like, this is our steroids hitter. You know, kind of like DH.
This is
RoboCop pitchers. Oh, God.
This is our steroid DH.
Yeah, steroid DH. The DH has to take steroids. How about that? There we go.
Yeah, you have to get a testosterone injection before the DH for that day. It wears off the next day. You get a one-day steroid injection.
Bro, did you guys see Aaron Judge's throw the other day, by the way?
No,
dude,
I did not.
He's definitely on steroids. There's no fucking way he threw it like 400 freaking feet right to second base, 6 inches off the ground.
Hunter Renfroe threw a guy out from right field the other day.
Yeah, I know. Hunter Renfroe's a monster, dude. He's got a cannon.
Oh, that was the Orioles finale. All right. So my ridiculous baseball rule is I saw this happen in a game the other day. Mm-hmm. So the guy's batting and he fouls it. It bounces and it hits the screen right behind, and it knocked the guy's beer out of his hand. So the ball bounced off the ground and like hit the screen, and it made his beer fly out of his hand. Yeah, so my ridiculous rule changes: if you hit a foul back to the screen and it makes somebody spill their drink, they get your bat.
Actually, that's a good rule. That's not a ridiculous rule. That's a good rule. I like that. I would drop my beer just to get the bat.
Dude, like every time you're watching a baseball game, anytime the foul ball goes back to the screen, like nobody realizes there's a screen there. Everybody's like,
I know.
Oh my God.
Everybody. Except, oh man, this was a couple years ago, like, I don't know, 2018. I think it was a Cubs game, actually. It was just really gay. But I was watching it on TV, and this like 170-year-old lady just sitting behind first base, and everybody in the crowd moved when the ball came back there except her. She was just like, you fucking idiots. I've been watching this since I was 4 years old.
My dad invented baseball.
Pretty much, dude. She was 1,000. Oh, my gosh.
Like when they used to play with peach pits and sticks. All right. Let's switch to the NFL. Let's do the NFL next. So let's do NFL rule changes that we like.
Okay. So my first one, not that exciting to be honest with you, but it's the substitution rule. I allow that there's unlimited substitutions, and I love that it's even on both sides. Like if there's a defensive or offensive substitution, the ref stops and holds it and make sure that the defense can match up. I like that. Mm-hmm. It just keeps the game completely fair.
Mm-hmm. My first one, this goes all the way back to 1933. Before that, you could only pass one time per set of downs. So they changed that in 1933, and after that, you could pass more than once per set of downs. And actually, before that, too, you had to be 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage to throw a pass. So it wasn't up. It wasn't up to the line of scrimmage. So you couldn't step up into the pocket and throw a pass, or you couldn't be scrambling and right before you get to the line of scrimmage throw a pass. You had to be 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage to throw a pass before 1933.
That just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense.
So yeah, I'm glad they changed that one.
All right, my number 2, the overtime rule that just got initiated this year for the playoffs. About freaking time, dude. Seriously. Mm-hmm. I mean, I kind of wish that it would have went into the regular season as well, but I do appreciate them at least, implementing it and doing it in the playoffs.
My thing with the regular season versus the playoffs thing is, in the playoffs, if you're affected by that, you're done. If it happens to you in the regular season, unless it's game 17 and you're,
trying to get
tied with somebody for the playoffs, you have plenty of other time to make that up. You have plenty of other time to make up that difference.
So I was watching ESPN today, and they were talking about the USFL starting out, and they were talking about all the cameras that they were using. And on a regular game day in the NFL, they use about 22 to 24 cameras, I think they said. And the USFL is going to be using over 50. So, and they're going to have a drone over kickoffs.
Ooh, that's cool.
I think they said 2 players
from each
up
team. Every player.
2 players from each team, I think, are going to be mic'd up.
Sweet.
I don't know if
I like
it's
it when they
every
do that in
player.
baseball. I think that's cool.
Yeah. So they were talking about how the USFL might end up being kind of like how the minors are for baseball, where they test out these rules or like cameras or technology, different helmets, like, and they might like be like, okay, test this out, and then the USFL tries it out. Okay, this is what we got from our data, blah blah blah, and then they put it into the NFL, like the real king, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was awesome. That's not even one of my rules. I just wanted to talk about that.
All right. Well, good job. All right. Did you give your second one? Yeah,
I did. It
yours
was the OT
overtime
rule.
All right, my number 2 is from 1972 when they changed the hash marks to be even with the goal posts. So before that, a lot of teams used to run an extra play just so that they were centered in between the hash marks. It also made it so that, if you're on the left hash mark, which is 10 yards outside of the goalpost, you have a super wide side of the field, and then you have another side of the field that's like this big. So making the hash marks even with the goalposts, I think, really improved the game by evening out the field and just kind of centering everything.
I always thought the hash marks in college was stupid. Because you can kick a field goal and you're basically standing on your bench. That's what it looks like sometimes. I know the goalposts are a little wider in college, but it still looks kind of funky.
You have like the super tiny part of the field and then like the extremely long side of the field. It just looks weird. So I like that it's more centered.
I agree. My last one, my favorite one, happened in 2017, so it's pretty recent. They brought back touchdown celebrations, baby. It came away. They still, I was reading on celebrations, they still do not allow people to like do like gun gestures or like the Wesley Matthews like arrow gesture is illegal for a touchdown celebration because they don't want any weaponized stuff. So I mean, but they did allow the ball to become a prop, so that's cool.
Yeah, the props is cool.
The touchdown celebration, it's just something that's good for the kids, man.
Right.
Because my stepson, he goes upstairs and he'll watch 100 players do the gritty for some reason. I'm like, dude, you already watched this video, but okay, I don't want to hear this song anymore.
Yeah, it makes the game fun. It allows the players to have fun. Like they're playing a game. Like let them have fun
and show their creativity.
Right. So my last one, this is a player safety thing. I like that they eliminated chop blocks from the NFL. Because, I mean, this is a thing, like, this goes back to what we have as part of our philosophy is that it doesn't matter who it is. You don't cheer for people to get injured.
Right.
Ever. And then, it also to, you want to beat a team when they're at their best. So you want their best players healthy because you want to beat them when they're at their best. So you can say that you beat them when they were at their best. So eliminating chop blocks, it cut way down on knee injuries. No pun intended. So getting rid of chop blocks is a rule that I liked.
Yeah, I'm just reading Scott's comment here. They need to get rid of the taunting penalty. Yeah, the taunting penalty was stupid, and they were overcalling it. But that's always what happens when they implement a new rule.
When they do a new rule,
they overdo it for the first couple of weeks, and then it kind of settles in. I mean, I'm glad the Bears got screwed on it. I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. Second Amendment rocks. Yeah, I mean, the gun stuff, the only reason I'm going to say I agree with it is because I don't want to get too political here, but there is people just going crazy and just pulling. I mean, we just had something happen in New York, man, and he has ties to Wisconsin. He just pulled out a gun and started going freaking ham. So, I mean, you have mental health issues. Each person can do what they want,
but not allowing people to promote it.
Yeah,
I'm
okay. I'm okay with them not letting them do guns and stuff. That's okay with me. Just as long as they allow celebrations in general.
Yeah, like the what Theo doing the popcorn.
That was funny as hell.
That's awesome.
It happened against us though. It happened against the Packers.
I don't care. That's still awesome.
Yeah,
like pouring popcorn into his helmet. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I loved when he went on the star, dude. That's legendary.
I love when he got speared on the star. That was awesome.
He did get speared. All right. So my first dislike. Now, you just heard Tyler. We do not cheer for injuries, but I feel like this penalty that's called is like so like touchy-feely, I guess. Like I feel like they don't call it correctly, but the defenseless player flags, like I feel like it takes away from some crackback blocks. I understand the safety thing, but I feel like you you have to put some responsibility. I mean, Tom Brady just talked about this, actually. There is a certain responsibility on a quarterback not letting your receiver out to dry. You know what I mean? So now the players are so protected where you can kind of throw anything and it's all offense, where I told you in the NFL and football, I'm more of a defensive guy.
My thing with this is as long as you're not leading with the helmet,
Yeah.
it should be okay.
So
Like as long as you're not putting your helmet in the middle of somebody's chest or going helmet to helmet, if you're giving somebody a shoulder and they're not looking for you, like that seems legal if you're making
that's football.
If you're
that's
doing
football.
something that's like illegal, if it's legal for you to do it while you're making a tackle, it should be legal for you doing it trying to break up a pass.
I agree. And that's the point I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, I'm with that. Like I said, as long as it's not an illegal hit, like a helmet to helmet or leading with your helmet, I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
My first one that I disliked is from 1933 to 1974. The goalposts were on the goal line. Like I don't know whose idea that was, and I don't know how many times it happened, but that just seems like a disaster waiting to happen. Like for somebody to just run into that goalpost.
Yeah,
like,
who's the freaking brilliant architect that came up with that?
Hey guys, I have this idea. We're gonna put a giant pole right in the middle of the field of play.
Yeah, and they're going to run as fast as they can, not looking for it. All right, good idea, bud.
And I hope you don't want to try to throw a pass into the back of the end zone with any zip on it. You're going to have to loft it over the goalpost.
Yeah, you're going to throw it 10 feet high, and it's going to have to drop down to 5'8".
You're going to have to throw that pass like 18 to 20 seconds early so that the receiver can go and get under it.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know whose idea that was, but that was a bad idea.
Okay, so my next one, this one is just such a game changer, and I know it's kind of nitpicky, but I hate when players, like a guy's blocking on punt return and he gets pushed into the football, and that ends up being a turnover. That can be such a game-changing play. And in the NFL, when one loss in your conference, in your division, can really determine if you make the playoffs, your seeding, who you play, I just don't like that play. I just don't like that call. That may make me sound like a baby. I don't give a shit. But I just don't like it.
My next one is going to be pretty similar to that. And this happened to the Bears, and it screwed them, which makes me laugh. But it's fumbling the ball out of your offensive end zone, resulting in a touchback for the other team.
Yeah.
I think, that's so weird that's something that changes possession. So this is my proposal. Is instead of the ball, if you're an offensive player and you fumble the ball and it rolls out of bounds in the end zone for a touchback, it shouldn't be a touchback for the defense and a change of possession. It should be a touchback for the offense, and you get first and goal from the 20. That's my proposal.
Okay. I like that. All right, so my last one, I went for all things that are just annoying flags, basically. And it's the pass interference call. I think that they should adopt the NCAA rule where I don't need an offense getting 50 yards because, there was a flag or, sometimes a receiver gets behind and they intentionally grab, and I get that. So you can grade them on different pass interference calls. So you can go to the replay booth. We go to the replay booth 100 times during football
Similar
games
to
anyways.
face masks.
Yeah, so if you see a guy and you think there's, intent where he grabbed him on purpose, okay, make that a 25-yarder. But other than that, they should be capped at 15 yards just like it is in college. I don't need an offense getting 50, 60 yards. I just don't agree with that.
Throwing to the end zone from the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and then you get first and goal from the 1. Yeah, then they're going to score. It's over with after that.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So my last one that I dislike, similar to what you said, is the overtime rule. So my thing with the overtime rule, why I dislike it so much, is that every other professional sport offers the opportunity for both teams to possess the ball, the puck, whatever it be.
Bat.
Every other one.
Yeah.
So baseball, both teams get to hit in the 10th inning. Basketball, you have a jump ball and you have 5 minutes of overtime. NHL, you have a face-off and the first team to score wins. There's no face-offs in football, but both teams have the opportunity to possess the puck. In the NFL, it's a coin flip, which is annoying. Which brings me to my NFL ridiculous rule change, and that is instead of a coin flip to decide overtime possession, you do rock, paper, scissors.
God damn it. Are you being serious?
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down too, bro.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I say 2 out of 3. Yeah, I
Rock,
said 2 out
paper,
of 3.
scissors for OT possession.
And then as I was writing that, I played rock paper scissors with my stepson, who's 9 years old, and I lost. So that makes it a little bit better, I guess. Yeah, I wrote down rock paper scissors. I feel like rock paper scissors is a skill, to be honest with you, and I just don't possess it.
I do. Courtney gets mad at me because we used to do it a lot when the girls were younger, and we do rock paper scissors to see who would have to go downstairs and take care of the girls, and like I would always win, so Courtney would get mad at me.
Did Isaac
Fumbling
just
on the pylon. Isaac, that's one of my rule changes that I was just talking about. Was if you fumble it and it becomes a touchback and a turnover, I think it should become a touchback for the offensive team, and you get first and goal from the 20.
Simon, just so you know, the person that gets in your first is on the right. So I got in here before Tyler today. That's how we switch sides. Oh, no, Tyler's controlling it. There he goes.
I'll do it again.
Never fail me, Rock. See, I'm a scissors guy. I feel like a lot of people... Fuck off. I feel like a lot of people go paper, when they're undecided. I feel like they just do this. And so I'm just like, oh, dude, scissors is just the go-to, man.
I hear you.
It is. It's the go-to.
I hear you. I usually start with rock and then go scissors. Isaac thought that was funny. So...
Fucking Isaac.
All right. So the reason that Jake and I decided to do a rule changes is we saw all the stuff that's going on in baseball and the unwritten rules there. We also saw a list of 4 rule changes that Colin Cowherd proposed for the NBA. Jake and I only agree with 1 out of his 4. So his 4 rule changes that he proposed were a 68-game regular season, removing back-to-backs, extending the postseason by just length of days, and removing some of the 7-game series, whether it means the opening round is a best of 5 or whatever. And then his last one was a minimum amount of games played for major awards. Out of those 4, really the only one that I agree with is removing back-to-backs. The NBA season's long enough. They have a lot of time where there's 3 games in between days. 3 days in between games. Sorry, I got a little dyslexic there. 3 days in between games. Like, you can spread that out a little bit. You don't need to play Friday and Saturday when your next game isn't until Tuesday or Wednesday. Like, it's play Friday, Sunday, and then you have Tuesday or Wednesday. Like, the NBA season is long enough that they can start in late October and go through early April and not have to play back-to-back games. It's doable, in my opinion.
I agree. I don't like the back-to-backs either. We talked about this. We're in the world of sports now where we can have the season go as long as we want, really, with social media and all the platforms that you can watch games. People are going to watch, right? The people that care are going to watch no matter what.
Right.
So there's no reason for back-to-backs. Let's just eliminate back-to-backs, and then they're not an excuse for anybody. Right. And then less players sitting. So then you don't need a minimum required games played.
Right.
There would be less load management.
And you don't need a shorter season either.
Yeah, true. I don't want a shorter season. That's stupid.
And you don't need a shorter season. Like I understand the want for it, just for eliminating some of the load management stuff. But the NBA is never going to shorten the season. It's never going to happen unless you add an in-game or an in-season tournament like Adam Silver has talked about doing. They will never shorten the season. And to my mind, I have never thought of a reason or like an incentive for an in-season tournament that makes sense to me.
What were they talking about with that? They were talking about like cash. There's a little trophy.
Yeah,
I remember they were proposing a lot of shit, but
like I could see doing it like a charity, or whether it be taking the top 5 seeds from each and the bottom 5 seeds from each, and the top 5 play for
like an extra game or something like that. Or how about you can like hand an extra loss to somebody just in case it comes down to a game and you can jump them in the seeding or whatever. Kind of like with the Celtics and Bucks, right? Like say, because they tied or whatever.
Have it be a tiebreaker or something like that. Like yeah. You can do the mid-season here. How about this? So the mid-season tournament record is the number 1 tiebreaker.
Did you see that?
I've heard about the team rule for this one city. If a fan catches a baseball, you're out. Whatever. That seems like an arena baseball thing. But, whatever. And then my other thing was, like, if the bottom 5 seeds from each conference, like, have that be the draft lottery. If you're the bottom 5 seeds in each
Okay.
conference, the winner of the tournament gets the number 1 pick, and so on and so forth for the top 10.
I like that. That's a good idea right there. Because everybody already thinks it's rigged, so why not put it out on full display? Like, oh, okay, this team is going to get the number 1 pick.
Right.
I like
And
that.
then, it gives the teams that are tanking, it gives them an opportunity to play for something.
Yeah. I agree.
So-
kind of gives them a competitive, competitive experience. That's what I'm trying to think. Because,
Right.
playoff experience is such a big thing, for young players. So
Think
you
of it
give
like
them a little
this.
tournament.
It's basically like the NIT of the NBA.
True. That would be sick, dude. I would love a little mini tournament. Go back to the season.
Right?
All right, now it's the real deal. Man, Adam Silver is the best commissioner.
I agree that Adam Silver's the
Easily,
best.
man.
And Rob
Easily.
Manfred is easily the worst.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh my god, he's awful. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the NBA. Let's talk about NBA rules we like. I'm gonna go first.
Yes.
And I'll just say it a little bit. My first one is adding the shot clock in 1954. Jake has this one as well, so I'm gonna let him elaborate on it a little bit.
Yeah, adding the shot clock, dude. Think about how much that changed because, we were just talking about it before the show. We were reading some of the lowest scoring games that happened before the shot clock era. And it was like people were just dribbling the ball. And one game was like 19-18, I believe.
You run a motion offense, and you can just run offense for like 4.5 minutes.
Dude, the Badgers would literally win the title every freaking year,
Right?
bro. They would go crazy.
Brad, for a mid-season tournament, skipping games, we were just talking about it just a couple minutes ago, that if you eliminate back-to-backs, that would eliminate some of the skipping games. I do like the bonus for games played, being able to do incentives for NBA contracts. That would be something interesting. Adding the 3-point line is actually one of mine, so Scott is
Mine
on
too.
me.
Mine too.
Adding the 3-point line in 1977, it changes the strategy on both sides of the ball. Also,
Well, look at-
Brad, if you haven't already, check your DMs because I sent you one. But yes, adding the 3-point line, it changes the strategy of the game on both sides.
Look at the NBA now, dude. Teams are shooting freaking 50 3-pointers in a game. Players are hitting 10, 8, 7. Like, Bobby Portis hit 8 3-pointers in a game. He's 6'10". Like,
awesome.
think about how much the game has changed. Giannis is a guy that, I mean, defending it has changed. I mean, it became a specialist, thing at one point. Some players that were athletically nowhere near the ability of all the other players on the court should not have been on the court, but they were there because they could shoot threes. Think about 90s basketball. Crazy.
Think about even today's basketball. There's sharpshooters on teams. Like Bryn Forbes would have no place in the 1970s.
Bro, Kyle Korver literally survived
Korver
until he was
one.
55 years old because he could shoot threes.
JJ Redick is another one.
Yeah.
We could make a list of 1,000 players that wouldn't have had as long of careers if there wasn't a 3-point line.
Mike Dunleavy, bro.
Like even Steph Curry for that.
Yeah. For a while there, man, before he got his big old prosthetic legs added onto his legs underneath it. Dude, those things are huge, by the way. Go Google Steph Curry ankle braces, and you will be shocked. They are humongous. Like, they're like this freaking thick. It's crazy. But he had no, he almost was a buck at one point. Did you watch that? Did you watch that interview with him and Draymond on Draymond's podcast? Yeah, he talked about that actually.
It was the ankles that kept the Bucks from doing it.
Oh man, Giannis and Curry would have went nuts.
Yeah, that'd be crazy,
man. But anyways.
All right. So my last NBA rule change that I like is I call it the James Harden rule.
Management game.
So basically, eliminating non-basketball moves, creating fouls. That shit drives me insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that some people don't like that you get like the gather step in the NBA and stuff like that, but doing just the oh my god, the head throwback shit, like that's so annoying. Like literally just doing shit and flailing around just to try to get a foul call.
I agree.
Or like getting a guy on a pump fake and then jumping this way when the basket's that way just to try to draw a foul. Like that shit annoys me. So I'm glad they changed that rule or made that rule.
That kind of goes into the pass interference thing, think about it. Receivers go like this and they throw their head up or they like fall on the ground. It's like, it's stupid, man. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
All right, so my last one's a little bit sarcastic. I love that they don't call traveling or carrying anymore, man. It just allows the game to move a lot smoother. Guys are getting 7-8 steps now. I mean, it's crazy. And guys are just able to just carry the ball like this. I mean, it just makes the game fun to watch, in my opinion. I love carrying, to be completely honest with you. We get a lot more ankle breakers when a guy can go like this and pull the ball back into his body.
When you can do a circle crossover, like Chris Paul does a thing where he like undercuts the ball and he makes it so that it spins back.
Yeah, that's nasty, by the way. There's a reason he's called the point guard. That is disgusting. That is not nice.
I would love to have seen John Stockton doing that.
Oh, nasty.
That'd be
I
awesome.
feel like I think I would have loved to watch double dribbles. Yeah, they don't call that either. But traveling is easily no, I lied. The penalty that is not called the most, or foul in this case, in basketball, is moving screen. They never call that shit.
Unless you like stick your hip or your knee out. Those are the only times that they call them.
That's because the guy like falls over it. But
Right.
otherwise, dude, and Draymond was the worst. I remember one time, this was like back in 2016, like Draymond literally like hunched over and a guy like fell over his back this way. And they didn't call a foul. I was like, he's not moving? Like he just stuck his entire ass out.
Right.
He's 6'7". How did you not see that? I don't understand.
All right, let's switch to NBA rules we dislike. Mine are all old. I have old NBA rules that I dislike. I guess you could flip it around and say I'm glad that these aren't rules anymore. But before 1920, the NBA was like baseball. You could not check back into the game. Once you checked out, you were out.
Oh, wow.
And they changed it so then you could only come back in one time. And then they changed it so you can only come back in 2 times. And then they changed it so you can just sub in and out whenever.
That is very dumb
like
that you
that.
couldn't come back in.
Yeah.
That is very dumb.
So that that definitely factors in a strategy of how you play your starters and how long you play your starters.
True. Very true. Wow. Imagine NBA now
Right?
if you could. Once you come out, you're done.
Dude, you're squinting at this one. Wait till you get to my number 3.
No wonder Wilt played 48.5 minutes per game. Jesus
Right.
Christ. He wasn't coming out. Oh, nice. My first one I dislike is zone defense. I think it's just a cop-out, in my opinion. So the entire Syracuse organization is a cop-out because all they do is run zone defense. Dude, if you can't guard your guy, well, that's a
deserve to
problem.
lose if they're better than you. Like,
Yeah, sorry. Some guys are just better than you. Put somebody else on him. And if you can't stop him, well, then he's just really, really fucking good.
then he's
That's all I'm
gonna beat
gonna
you.
say.
He's gonna win. Like the better players win.
Yeah, exactly. I just
Okay.
don't like zone defense.
My second one was before 1924, teams could pick who shot free throws. So you could foul Giannis as much as you wanted, and we could just have Chris Middleton shooting free throws for him. So a lot of teams would designate just like one guy to shoot free throws.
We
So-
would average 150. Seriously. Chris would average 40.
He would. He'd be shooting 25 free throws a game because he'd be
Yeah.
shooting all of the team's free throws.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Rick Barry that did the underhand free throw?
Mm-hmm.
He was like 94% with it. Like he'd still be in the league today. Like he'd just
Yeah.
be a designated free throw shooter.
Oh, my God. Now we have free throw specialists. Jesus.
You'd have a
Dude.
free throw special.
Imagine that. Oh, my God.
Oh.
Steph Curry would go crazy.
He'd play until he was 50.
Durant would go crazy. People that shoot 90+. Steve Nash would
Dude,
go crazy.
you'd be wanting today's Shaq on your team just to go get fouled so that you could have Curry shooting your free throws for you.
Yup. Oh, my God. Think of the strategy in that. And it would take away from the Hack-a-Shack rule. Tell you that right now. Tell you that.
But even still,
Ooh,
that's a
I
weird
just thought
rule.
of something. What if we implement a new rule where if you intentionally foul one certain player 3 times in one game, that you get to pick who shoots his free throws after that, every time he gets intentionally fouled?
Sure.
It would be just a strategy thing.
You'd have
You'd be
to
like, okay.
determine. The thing with that though is you'd have to be able to determine intent.
You can see an intentional foul. Come on, you can see an intentional. Like
But
when
I
a
mean, it's
guy's
just one
going up
like
for a
this,
layup.
if it's one where guys like this instead of being straight up, like how do you determine that he intended to not have his arms up?
No, that's just a regular foul. I'm talking about like when they just run up to him and just like hug him. You know what I'm saying? Like you can only do it like 2 times a game or something like that.
Or like
Kinda like how the Spurs
stopping
started
the
out that
fast
one game.
break foul.
Yeah, that sucks so bad. I hate that fucking foul.
I'm glad they have the clear path foul now, so that could have been a good rule change that you like, is the clear path foul. Like,
All
and
right.
you know the guy's gonna score.
I'm gonna do my second one. My second one is, these guys are getting paid, $35 million a year, and they're monitoring the fans heckling. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely do not like that. Like, I went to the Bucs game last year, and somebody asked Dwight Howard how many kids he had, and he got kicked out of the game. I'm like, bro, that was so soft. Like, are you serious?
The only thing I can see being like a fan deserving to get kicked out is if you're throwing stuff on the court.
And I agree with that.
Or if you're being like really
saying,
loud and profane.
Yeah, saying over the top stuff, but like being like, "Hey, Dwight, how many kids you have?" Like, dude, come on, that's playful. I just don't see that as anything attacking anybody.
Right. Like I said, as long as you're leaving out like profanity out of it, and like obviously that goes without saying, but as long as you're not saying like racist shit, like I don't see a problem with it.
I agree.
All right, you ready for this? This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm ready for this one.
So, I lost my shit when I read that this was a fucking rule.
Okay.
From 1904 until 1913, the first player that touched the ball when it went out of bounds got possession.
What?
I am not making this up because it gets better. Just listen, it gets better. So they were having teams were forming like full-on wedges to keep the other team from getting the ball, to the point where they put a mesh cage around the court, and dudes were getting cuts on themselves so that they would keep the ball closer to the court so the ball wouldn't go to the stands. You can look this up. You can look up basketball, like NBA cage, and that's why they were called cagers way back in the day, because they literally put like a chicken wire cage around the court. It's crazy, dude. So the first player that touched the ball when it went out of bounds got possession.
No. Wow. That took a complete 180 in today's game. I'll tell you that right now.
So here's the picture that I have. It's going to be really hard to see, but there's literally like a WWE cage match cage around the court.
Well, I can't wait till Stone Cold comes out, man.
Dude, dudes were getting like tetanus and shit from the rusty wires and shit.
Holy
fuck.
Dude. Wow.
So the next time somebody complains about 90s basketball being real basketball and today's game being too soft, tell them let's go back to 1904 when they were playing with a cage match.
Yeah, that's real men played.
Yeah. Take your clothesline fouls out of here. I don't care if you're not pulling dudes down by the shoulders anymore. Let's go play in a cage match.
It didn't matter if your arm got cut off. You had to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to work the next day, God damn it.
Yep.
Because they had two jobs. Exactly. All right, my last one. This kind of goes along with the NFL where they took away touchdown celebrations. I don't like that there's so many techs for little petty things. Like, I don't like that there's a tech. People. No, for like players when they hang on the rim, like they're getting the crowd into it. Like, why is that a tech? Like, you're not showing up your opponent. You're getting your crowd into it. You're at home. You should have an advantage on your home court. You're making them loud. That was a big time play, you know?
You should be able to hang on the rim as long as you're not like going like this and like pulling it on it like a bunch of times. Because like
you can hang on, like scream,
you can hang on it. I would say you could hang on it.
But then also like,
but like I don't think you should be able to like hang and like do chin ups and shit on it.
Right. I like last year when Durant and who am I thinking of? He went to the Heat. Damn it. Oh, Tucker. They got face to face, right? And they were talking. They were just giving each other the business. I like that the refs were just like, all right, man, let's just let them go at it. This is a big time playoff series. Like
as long as they're not throwing punches and shit. Like that's
I like that kind of
competition.
Stuff.
That's competition.
I don't like when they get text for that though. That's annoying.
Yeah, the annoying technical foul that always bothers me is like if somebody dunks on somebody and then you stare at them. Like that's annoying. That's a technical foul.
Mm-hmm.
Like dude, he got dunked on. Like let him flex.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Give me your ridiculous rule change for the NBA.
All right. This one isn't ridiculous. I actually want it to happen. And they've talked about it. A one-on-one tournament during the All-Star weekend would be freaking fire. And here's my proposal in this. So I'm just going to make a 10-man pool, right? If you're in the top 10 scorers, you have to play in the tournament. Those are the best players in the league, right?
The best
top 10 scorers. Well, this is all about scoring, I say the top 10 scorers playing a one-on-one tournament. I don't care if you're in the fucking All-Star game. You play in a one-on-one tournament, you get a nice little money bonus. Dude, imagine Kobe in that. Imagine MJ in that. He would have won that shit every year. Kobe would have won that shit almost every year. Durant would win it right now.
I'm picturing what a Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic one-on-one game would look like.
Be interesting. We don't know. We do not know.
Huh.
See, I'm telling you, that shit would be fire, dude. If you're in the top 10 scoring, you have to play. Unless you're injured, obviously.
Right.
But, dude, that'd be sick.
Interesting. All right. Here's mine. Mine goes back to an Antoine Walker quote where he said, if there was a 4-point line, I would shoot from it.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's the NBA putting in a 4-point line. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Paul George, they would use it. You know they would.
Mm-hmm.
You know they'd use it. Like if you look at the Big 3 league, which is like all of the retired guys and stuff, they have 2 circles. They have 2 circles on the court that are the 4-point circles. 4-point line in the NBA? There's enough people that hate the 3-point line, so the 4-point line would never happen. But like I said, Steph, Clay, Damian Lillard, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell would probably use it. Like, it'd be interesting.
Well, the people that hate the 3-point line, I'll just say they're probably pretty close to dead since they're probably all in their 80s and 90s.
Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain are the top 3 favorite players of all time.
For real. Kareem is the GOAT.
All right. So let's flip the script now and let's talk about unwritten rules. So we're gonna start with baseball just because we agree that it has the most. Now, this came about. We wanted to add this in because of the Mauricio Dubon thing that just happened a few days ago. So the Giants are up by 9. Mauricio Dubon bunts and it gets a bunt single. Now, I have a problem with the Padres complaining about this. Because last year Fernando Tatis had a 3-0 pitch and he hit a home run. Actually, I think he hit a grand slam.
Yeah.
And now the Padres are whining about an unwritten rule being used against them. And now this is the bigger part of it is there's no game 163 anymore. Tiebreakers are decided differently now. It's like division record, then it's like league record, like run differential. So like all that stuff factors in. And then like Jay kind of touched on this already is like individual performance bonuses. If you have a thing for getting over, say, 200 hits in the season or something like that, or, and you have, tiers for how many hits you get in a season, like that still matters to you. I don't give a shit if it's the 6th inning and we're up by 9. Like, I want to get mine. Like, I don't want to just stare at 7 pitches waiting for you to strike me out and take a half-ass hack just because we're winning.
I agree.
And to be said, like, no lead is safe ever.
No.
There were, like, the tweet that I saw had a bunch of people posting box scores of, look at this team had a 9-run lead and they lost. This team had a 7-0 lead and they lost 10-7. This team had a 9-run lead and they lost after 6 innings. Like, so, leads are never safe. So, like, my thought is, what other league would you try to stop scoring? Like the NFL, they run the ball a little bit more, or they put some backups in and stuff like that. Like,
but when it gets close, they go back to offense.
Exactly. So, like the NHL, if there's an empty net, they're not just going to handle the puck around the ice. They're putting the puck in the net. Because
that's the fucking fork. You're putting the fork in them.
And like the NBA, like they're not going to stop you from scoring. And this kind of ties into the NBA a little bit. Is if there's 26 seconds left when you inbound the ball, and you have a 24-second shot clock, I don't care if you shoot a dumb shot with 2 seconds left. If it goes in, it goes in.
Yeah, I agree.
Taking that 24-second violation, that's an unwritten rule that annoys me. Like, I understand that the game is already pretty much over, but just take a shot. Like, Middleton did it, and Jay Crowder got all up in his feelings about it. There's a play when Jay Crowder was on the Grizzlies. He got a steal with like 5 seconds left, and he went and shot a 3, and I think it was one of the Morris twins came and shoved him into like the first row.
Yeah.
It's like, now, this is, again, the Padres situation where you did it, but now you're mad that somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, in my opinion, I'm okay with pretty much just doing away with unwritten rules.
I am too. One that I've written down for baseball is to not walk in front of the catcher. I just don't understand why that's a big deal. You're just going to the batter's box anyways. I don't understand baseball. It makes no sense to me. There's
another one too is
things.
stealing bases when you have a lead.
Yep.
If you don't want him to do it, then don't let him do it.
Yeah.
If you don't want a guy to steal a base, cover the base. Hold him on first. Throw him out.
Agree.
Like there's, guys could be getting bonuses for stolen bases.
Agreed.
And honestly, if you're not holding the runner on first base and you're not trying to throw down to second, like he's still playing the game. What do you want him to do? Not play the game? Like that's something that's gonna kill the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is by like letting your foot off the gas in the last third of the game. Like why would people like if the game is 7-0 after the 6th inning and you're like, okay, well that team's not allowed to try to score anymore because it might hurt the other team's feelings, who by the way are all being paid millions of dollars to play this game at the highest level.
Yeah.
Why would anybody watch past the 6th inning in a game that's up by more than 7 runs? And if you're going to say that a team shouldn't be trying to score or win anymore, then put a mercy rule in. Put a run rule in. If you're down by 6 after 6, game's over. If you're going to get that, like, all up in your feelings about a guy bunting for a base hit when he's up by 9 because he's still playing the game. If you don't like it, don't play the game. Are you going to give up your $10 million salary because a guy hurt your feelings for bunting for a single when he was winning?
Agreed. I 100% agree. I'm going to say one of my dislikes that kind of, it has to do with baseball. I got the idea from baseball, but it ties into all sports, and it's dress code. I think it was Okuna on the Braves, and he got in trouble for all the eye black he was wearing going into one of the games last year. And yeah, it was against the dress code for in the game. And it's the same thing, in the NFL, like they have to wear certain cleats that are like team color and like gloves and stuff like that. It's just like it also ties into the celebration stuff that I like just let them show their creativity.
Yeah,
if it's not vulgar, if it's not vulgar, doesn't involve guns, no violence, all that kind of stuff. Like if it follows those guidelines, those simple guidelines,
right?
Then why not? Let it happen. Let the guy wear hot pink shoes. I don't give a shit. That look cool.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like Giannis wears red shoes all the time.
Yeah.
Dante used to do it all the time too. He'd wear red shoes. Like I don't see a problem as long as they're as long as there's nothing, like you said, like nothing vulgar, as long as there's not like a...
I know why the NFL does the cleat thing, though. The my cleats, because they make so much freaking money off of it. Yeah. It's just like any business.
Well, I mean, like even like a regular game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they'd always have to, wear like the my cleats thing. Like they could still do that and let them wear those cleats for a game. But like all the regular season games, like if they want to wear a different colored cleat, like let them. And then you can still do the my cleats thing.
I know, but I'm saying that's why they let them do that, because they auction those off and they make so much money on them.
Right.
But yeah, you can still make that a thing.
Do that, yeah.
I agree. I don't understand.
I mean, as long as they're not doing something with their footwear that is like somehow giving them an unfair competitive advantage, like longer spikes or something like that for better grip, or something like that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. So I'm gonna go to a basketball one, is getting a steal and a score at the end of a game. So this is one that Russell Westbrook got all bent out of shape about, and the Lakers were losing to the Thunder, and Darius Bazley stole an inbounds pass and went and threw down a big dunk. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma City was winning this game. They were going to win this game. They were playing in Oklahoma City, and Russell got all mad about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, Oklahoma City's not really competing for much, but they're beating a team that was expected to be a playoff contender. Let them have some fun.
I agree.
You're being paid like $40 million this year, and you're gonna get that 50. Bent. And you're gonna get that bent out of shape because a guy went and stole 2 points from you with a second and a half left on the clock.
Right.
you're like, that makes you look like a crybaby.
I got an NBA one that's kind of stupid, and it's never wear like your opponent's shoe. Like Kobe had his own shoes, Giannis, LeBron. like there's like an unwritten rule that like when you go against LeBron, say you're playing the Lakers, you don't wear LeBrons that night, even though you wear LeBron shoes all year long. I just think that's really stupid. Like,
Yeah, that's dumb.
if that's what you're most comfortable in,
They're not LeBron's shoes. Like, you didn't go and take them from his closet. Like, they're a Nike shoe.
exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if there's a shoe that is the most comfortable for me that allows me to cut a certain way or jump a certain way and it makes my feet feel good, I'll give a fuck if you're over there. I'm gonna wear them so I can dunk on you wearing your shoes. How about that?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So I have 2 football ones for you.
Okay.
One of them is kicking a late field goal to avoid a shutout. So Zach Taylor did this against the Ravens a couple years ago. This was in 2020. The Ravens were beating the Bengals 27-0, and Zach Taylor kicked a field goal with 37 seconds left to avoid a shutout. And the Bears defensive coordinator got mad at him for it.
Yeah, fuck him.
Right? Like, cry about it. If you don't want him to kick the field goal, don't let him get into field goal range or block the field goal.
You gave up 3 points, dude. Jeez.
Right? Okay, so the next one is, this is... Vic Fangio looks like such a baby for this. So this was after a Ravens game, and this was on October 4th in 2021. And the Ravens were running the ball instead of kneeling to keep a streak of consecutive 100-yard rusher games going.
Yeah.
So it's extended their 100-yard rusher streak to 43 games, and Vic Fangio was saying that the Bears don't care about the Ravens don't care about player safety because they ran instead of kneeling.
What were you like? What do you? That's what you do when you want to keep the clock running, anyways. So I don't understand.
My thing is, what if it wasn't a decided contest? What if it was a 30-30 game? Are you then going to be mad because he's running the ball late?
Well, what if it? What I think he got mad because didn't it set an NFL record or it continued an NFL record?
It could have. I know it was 43 straight games with a 100-yard rusher. I know that.
I think it continued.
That's probably a record.
I think it continued an NFL record or broke it or something like that. But I think that's the only reason he was mad because he was the coach of that team. So now he's etched in NFL history. Like whatever.
Who cares? That's their record, not yours. They didn't run. They didn't rush for 40. About 100 yards 43 consecutive times against you.
Yeah, right.
You happened to be the 43rd of 43. Like
exactly.
That's they don't care about player safety. Like, no, they're trying to have a cool record for their team. Quit being a dick about it.
Yeah, seriously. You're trying to make it about you.
Safety.
It should be about them, but you're making it about you.
Okay, so yeah, I said my thing about the NHL. Like, guys always shoot at the empty net. That's what you do. Okay, so my last thing. This is one more ridiculous MLB rule change, and it ties into an unwritten rule, and is if you're losing by 7 or more runs, instead of doing a run rule, you get to add one more fielder.
Ooh.
So you can either do a 4-man outfield or a 5-man infield.
I would add him to the infield, but I'd make him play on the edge of the grass. So you can kind of be both.
You can put him anywhere you want. You get one extra fielder, you can put anywhere you want.
That is
you can have him as a rover in the outfield if you want.
I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. So like he's a DF. He's a designated fielder.
Designated fielder, dude. There it is.
I kind of like that, dude. That's kind of fire.
If you're down by 7, you get an extra fielder.
Okay, that'd be sick. Actually, that'd be interesting. Who would the Brewers have? Jock Peterson probably when everybody's healthy.
Jace Peterson, you mean?
Yeah, Jace. Sorry. Yeah, because he plays
you could
everywhere.
Use Jace Peterson. You could use Tyrone Taylor and put him as a rover in the outfield. You could use Mike Brasso and put him in between the shortstop and the second baseman. Yeah, like you said, you could use Jace Peterson. I mean,
Peterson kind of plays every position. That's why I was just like, just put him somewhere in the middle of the
baseball. And he plays a little bit of outfield too, so you could move him around a lot too.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Down 7 runs, you get an extra fielder.
I like that. I think this was a successful and very fun episode. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was fun.
I feel like I learned a lot.
Dude, I still can't get like the NBA cage match out of my mind. The fact that like before they put the cages around it, like there were people that had NBA players in their lap like dumping their popcorn over while they're trying to be the first one to touch the ball when it went out of bounds.
That's where Vince McMahon got the idea from.
That's probably, dude, that's very possible. Like, if I ever get to interview Vince McMahon for some dumb reason, like, it'd be like, hey, did you get the idea for cage matches from the 1900 NBAs?
Dude, think about it. People get weird ideas from a lot of shit, man. It very well could be possible, man. And if I called that out of nowhere, out of my ass, I'm gonna be like, dude, I need to buy a lottery ticket.
Let me. I'm just gonna look it up right now. I'm just gonna see where the wrestling cage matches come from.
He's not gonna tell the truth. No, he's not telling the truth.
Why wouldn't he? What's somebody gonna do? Steal it?
True.
Okay. History of the steel cage. We're gonna find it out.
Let's do this shit, bro. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Get it here.
Some prefer over the top. Other fans prefer wrestling for that. I still like that when I saw that picture of the NBA with the cage around it. That was still so crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Okay. 80 years of chicken wire fences and bright blue origins. 1937. Elimination chamber for the Punjabi prison match.
Oh God, the Brewers could have an extra fielder right now.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not good. 8-0. All right. Well, we'll take our ass licking and then we'll come back tomorrow.
Yep. Try to win the series.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say where the idea came from. It just says that it was a way to settle scores.
I'm telling you, I just called it. I feel it. Dude. Oh, shit.
Possible.
I called it. I know I did. It feels right. All right, man.
All right. I had fun. I hope this was a fun one for people that tuned in. I had fun.
Yes, I also had fun. Let's share this around, teach them some shit. I got to go to bed because I got to be up in literally 4 hours.
Oof. All right. Well, have fun with that.
Yeah, I will.
Definitely going to be fun next week, too. Wednesday, we're going to be doing linebackers and safeties. And then next Thursday is our live show with the Keel Parker Johns. And that's definitely going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do defensive line and safety. And then we're going to do mock drafts. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. So by next Thursday, we will have all of our draft prep done. We will share all those lists with you. And then
yes, sir.
It'll all be out there, and you guys can criticize us.
Yep. And then we're going to live stream during the first round of the NFL draft the following Thursday. So
that is what I'm most excited for, to be completely honest with you. But let's do this shit. All right, man.
Are we going to start with round one, pick one?
Hell yeah, why not?
Should. Yeah.
Let's just get on there. We'll party with people. I'll crack a few beers because I'll have off the next day. Let's do this.
Oh, look at this guy. All right.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm turning into Matt Ramage over here.
All right. All right, man. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Peace out, buddy.